Right. So, good morning, everybody. What day is this? Friday, and you're looking at the end of the week and the weekend coming up. So, thanks for spending some of your valuable time with us at the RPMA. Um, we do these webinars every month throughout the year. We do 10 different webinars dealing with the usual stuff and the unusual stuff in property management. So I'm hoping that you've been to one of these before and you found it worthwhile. Um, I have today a guest who I will introduce presently. So interview with a seasoned property manager, somebody who's been doing it for longer than 10 and a half minutes and still strangely enjoys doing it. I will introduce you to Tamara Pawson. Say hi, Tamara. There she
Hi.
is. Tamara has I've been associated with Tamara for a number of years until she wandered off up north to set up her own company is it in Hastings or Napier, Tamara?
Well, Hawke's Bay. We're based in Hastings, but we
Hawke's
cover the
Bay.
region. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So she went her own way and still manages to make a dollar or two out of her business. And she's turned out to be actually quite good at it. And so that's why I thought, well, who would I ask to talk about the finer points of property management? And you came to mind, Tamara. I have
It's an
no
honor coming from
regrets.
you, Richard.
Yeah, I know. I have no regrets, but yeah, I've got some dull and uninteresting questions to ask you, and I'm hoping you give me some sparkly answers. So first of all, you introduce yourself and your background and your experience.
Cool. Hi, everyone. Tamara Pawson here. So I run a company in the Hawke's Bay called Hassle Free Rentals. And yeah, we look after residential properties in the Hawke's Bay region. So Napier, Hastings, Taradale, everywhere in between. We are coming up in December to 10 years in business. So moved here, yeah, 10 years ago to kind of start a new life, raise kids, have a family, do the new business thing. And we have grown slowly and steadily from just me when we first moved and I knew no one, property by property, and then got to a point where I could hire a admin, helper person, and then I've had a couple of staff throughout the 10 years. Currently it's
Mm,
myself and I've got two part-timers, one admin lady and one kind of property management assist kind of person. So there's the three of us, operate from essentially a home office, kind of out in the front part of my property in Hastings. We look after, about 100 properties in the region and yeah, keeps us pretty busy. Like Richard said, still love it. Did it for 7 years down in Wellington before moving to the Hawke's Bay to start my own business. So, like you said, I've done it for more than 10 and a half minutes.
hmm
And yeah, still learning every day. Every week there's something else or something new. Always trying to keep up with the play. And yeah, that's what we're up here doing.
Do you think this career choice would suit anybody, everybody?
No, absolutely not. Um, I find it quite interesting when you hear about the kind of numbers of the average property manager lasting kind of 8, 9 months, like less than a year.
Wow.
And it doesn't surprise me because as an employee or as someone who kind of has to manage the tough tenancies and the hard properties and the not so great ones, it would be quite a challenging role. It's not even necessarily about the properties so much as it about the people, like obviously managing the relationships with the tenants and the owners and the tradies and all the other facets that come with it. But you've
Mm.
got to be able to really think on the fly and problem solve. And I think one of the reasons why I'm still enjoying it and I've lasted so long is because we've been able to be quite picky and choosy about the properties that we take. So we operate in that mid to high level of the market rather than like we don't cover the low end at all. So it makes the job very easy to keep it hassle free, as you can imagine, because
Yeah.
you're just cutting out a whole segment of, the ones that give you grief and the ones that keep you up at night and the ones that stress you out. Yeah, there's still a bit of that, but if you can cut that out as much as you can, then it makes it a great job, a great career choice. But I think for someone who's not getting to make those choices, it would be pretty tough.
Is there anything that keeps you awake at night with this?
Not a whole lot, to be honest. Not in the not yeah, no, not really. Smoke alarms kept me up at night for a few years, to be
Yeah,
honest.
love
Like
them.
before we like introduced that we were just outsourcing the whole lot and just covering it through we use a company called All Clear here. Before we made that decision to just go, you know what, we're not doing this. I'm not walking around with a stick anymore. I'm not managing smoke alarms because when you go to sleep, your sense of smell goes to sleep, and people die in fires, and that kept me up at night sometimes. I don't know, it's a bit weird, but once that was sorted, I felt a whole wave of relief. That was a great choice. Um, does things keep me up at night? Not really. No, we have a pretty good, tidy kind of, like I said, it's not a really mucky portfolio. So there's
Mm.
not a lot of kind of dramas going on that would impact me as the business owner thinking, oh, how am I going to resolve this? How's my owner going to react? How can I make it better? How can I fix this or, help fix this? So
Mm.
not too much of that going on, which is good. We live a good life here in the Hawke's Bay.
Nice, nice. Over the years, have been asked many times, about property management being a difficult job, and geez, you must have troublesome tenants and problems with tenants. And my answer has always been, I have more trouble with owners than I do with tenants. Would that be fair?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's just people in general, right? It's across the board. I don't think that
Mm.
tenants and owners are a particular, breed of person that can be really separated. It's just the population. So you're always
Yeah,
going to have, difficult people and, that can be difficult owners and difficult tenants. Yeah, I mean, it is that interesting stigma when you mention property management. They're like, "Oh, that must be really hard. Oh, couldn't do that. What a drama-filled kind of job." But on the whole, people are just trying to get on with it. People are just trying to rent a house, have a roof over their head, go to work, save up, or do what they're doing. And on the whole, owners are just trying to own a rental property to get ahead or to save for retirement or to do, what they believe is their, creation of wealth at their end. Most owners are just, yeah, trying to do their best, and most tenants are trying to
yeah,
do their best. It's just trying to avoid the ones that cause you the dramas, like, yeah, as much as humanly possible, so that it's not, you're not having those things. But yeah, I think it's across the board. Definitely both. Definitely both. The tradies are easy because if they're difficult to work with, then you just don't work with them anymore. Um, Kind of take that view a little bit with owners as well, because if they're really difficult to work with and they're not
yeah,
on board with what we need to do, looking after their house and, maintaining it and complying and all that stuff, then we're not working with them. So there is an element of you can kind of control what's going to work for you. Tenant's a little bit more difficult, but yeah, you just
yeah.
hope that you don't pick the bad apples, but it does happen.
With your tradies, do you get them to sign a service level agreement at all?
Yep, yeah, definitely. So
Nice.
we've got because it kind of just covers us for health and safety. Health and safety
Yeah.
just like passing the buck to them so that we can say, yeah, we know that the people on site at our properties are compliant in their own fields. Like they've
Mm.
got, their insurances, they've got their insurance, they've got their certification in whatever, industry they need, and they've got a health and safety policy, GST registration, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Check that off. That was a pretty gnarly exercise to go through maybe 3-ish years ago to kind of get all the tradies up to that level because you've obviously still got a little bit of your one man band who's like, what's the health and safety policy? So
Yeah, true.
it just means that we've moved away, further and further away from using those people, right? Because I can't have them on site because I don't know that they're going to be safe or they're not going to be covered if there's an accident. And then therefore that comes back to me. So all I'm trying to do is, keep the liability and the risk controlled for my owner and for myself. So it's a good way to make sure that they have their own, that their own staff are covered by their own policies and their own insurance. And, if they burn the house down, then it's kind of
It's
on
not your
on them.
fault.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, it's all
Okay.
just passing the buck a little bit. But yeah, no, definitely contractors agreements and the new ones coming on don't really blink an eyelid because it's just standard. Well, this is part of the procedure. If you want to work with us, then this is what you'll need to do. And they'll either decide to do it or not. Hawke's Bay's got it's pretty relaxed up here. So yeah, a few of them are a bit shocked, like, oh gosh, you've got to do all this. It's like, okay, yeah, do it or don't. Work with us or don't. It's up, so you kind of trying to beat that out of people a little bit, that ethos of, oh, she'll be right. It's like, well, it probably will be, but if it's not, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You, yeah, you're looking to cover yourself.
Hmm. It's all just a butt
Interesting.
covering exercise.
Yeah, yeah. Are you is growth a part of your business strategy?
Super interestingly for me, probably lately. It has been. In 2024, we did a bit of a like retraction. We got rid of about kind of 10% of our rent roll because we those properties weren't really aligned with what we were wanting to do. So we got a bit smaller. And then the last couple of years, it's been kind of growing back and replacing those and growing, past that point as well. And then in the last 6 months or so, I've been doing some kind of more like profitability kind of focus rather than, oh, I'm going to grow to 150 or I'm going to grow to whatever number. And actually I've been looking quite closely at the makeup of my portfolio rather than the numbers. So
Yeah.
in my gut, obviously everyone knows that a property that's renting for 550 a week is earning you less than 800 a week, depending on your model. So I'll just also say that we are an all-inclusive model. So we charge 9% plus GST, which is about to be, hopefully none of my owners are on this call, 10% plus GST from the 1st of September. So we've done a lot of work around what that price increase was going to be and going to look like. So we've been implementing and looking at that. And as part of that, this kind of information has fallen out about, yeah, essentially the profitability of a property at 550 a week when it turns over. So when we get it, when we have to find a new tenant, or when it doesn't turn over, as in it just continues on. And then
Yeah.
the profitability of a property at 650, 700, and then another one at like 800, 850. So the low, mid, and high. And so we've been looking at our ratio. So I'm at 25% low, 50% mid, 25% high. And so instead of going, oh, I'm going to grow to 150, I'm going to go out and get 50 new properties. Actually, what would be equally profitable is to change my ratio of, no lows, less mids, more highs. So kind of just being way more targeted in the properties that we're taking on. And that's actually been quite enlightening. And your gut knows it, but it's good to see the numbers. And also has helped me make some kind of tricky business decisions. I had a potential client approach me with 9 properties. And once I'd looked at the makeup of the portfolio, 5 of them were low, you know, 2 of them were mid, and 1 of them was high. So I had to look at it and say, it's not actually the direction which my business is heading in. So I'm going to have
Mm.
to decline the opportunity to take that 9, even though, initially I'm like, yeah, 9 properties, cool. What a great client. It would be amazing.
Yeah.
But once I actually looked at it, I was like, I have to say no because I'm trying to decrease the lows, not increase them. And it also, yeah, just helps with immediate decision making. Like, sorry, our portfolio is full at that level. You know, I've still got capacity at the mid and high, but if I fill it all up with lows, I've got no space to do highs.
Well, and then you're just doing more work as well. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
and there's only so many hours in the day. Like I work part time. I'm, a mum of young kids. That's why I also love the business model because it's so flexible. My
Yeah.
staff has got, 2 kids at primary. She's got a capacity of how much work she wants to do. Say like, it's about that life balance and not I don't need to chase 300, 600 properties and be the queen of Hawke's Bay. Like that doesn't interest me at all. It's about having a good life and a good balance, good portfolio with properties that, yeah, that don't
Mm.
cause, yeah, the sleepless nights, I suppose, is the goal. And usually, as we will all know, the ones causing the sleepless nights are the lows. So you're not even
Yeah.
getting paid that much for those sleepless nights, yeah, which is just crap. So
The
trying not
ones
to do
the ones
that.
that are looking for a discount.
Oh yeah, God, no, we don't do that.
No, good, good,
No,
good. Now
no, no.
you mentioned your team. How happy is your team?
Well, I'd like to think that they're really happy. What is happy property managers day to day to everyone? And I didn't even really realize that, but we'd been out for lunch on Tuesday and had a health and safety meeting, had a lovely lunch out. We kind of just, we're a really small, tight team.
Mm,
So we are, yeah, we're good at communicating with each other, but we still have like a proper, like, every week sit down, catch up. But the ideas flow really easily because we're so small. We don't have to have necessarily quite a formal process around
yeah,
things. So there's a lot of like feedback and ideas and like, oh, hey, this would be good, or hey, that didn't work, or what's it. So that's quite good. But yeah, I'd say we've got a great team. My admin lady's been with me a couple of years. And my other lady's been with me just about a year. And she replaced someone who was with me for 5 years. So we only split ways because I wanted more hours and she wanted less, so it didn't quite pan out. But we had a great relationship. It's a very level, like there's certainly no pyramid, there's certainly no, we're all just working together
yeah.
to make it work. And yeah, we do fun stuff. We kind of go out and enjoy the Hawke's Bays, make sure all of our meetings are at a nice new restaurant or a winery or I don't know. Yeah, it's good.
Who is your ideal customer and who is your nightmare customer? What are they like?
So ideal would be essentially like a mum and pop investor with one or two properties in that mid to high end range. So they've got, yeah, either a family home that they've moved on from and they're keeping as rental, or they've invested in, a decent area and a decent property that they know is going to, do well and attract good tenants.
Yeah,
They get it, so they've either come from, investing, or they know they're not the ones that are completely fresh and don't understand anything about anything. So it's kind of nice to have someone who understands at least some facets of property investment and gets that they've got to spend money, You need a
yeah,
maintenance fund. You need to have money because the hot water cylinder will likely blow, or the dishwasher or something, and don't act all shocked. So yeah, so in kind of in that kind of 40s, 50s, really busy people who have got kind of kids still, who are working their own jobs, who are trying to get ahead and they value professional service. So they're happy to go, you know what? We're not professionals at this. We need to pay someone to do it properly.
mm.
So yeah, that's kind of the ideal. And then the not ideal is everything that's not. So yeah,
Just the other side of the coin.
yeah,
Yeah,
crap properties, don't want to spend any money, miserable, want to argue about everything or argue about any maintenance or, debate compliance or yeah, not wanting to get on board with, what we need to do. Like when we brought in the smoke alarm compliance, I only had one client argue about it and then they were out. I was expecting a couple, but they actually didn't. But it was a really
mm,
good litmus test as to it's $100 a year, and it's being done. It's a policy we're bringing in, and everyone can understand that it's important. Are you going to argue it or not? And yeah, so it was a good kind of test to see how the portfolio was going to react. But everyone was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Cool, great. Let's make sure we're compliant. Let's make sure we're doing things properly. Arguing about healthy homes or things that just have to be done. So that would be the bad clients. The ones who call and the first thing they ask is, "What do you charge?" It's not
yes,
usually a good
yeah.
sign. Not usually a good start.
How do you go back to them? I would go back to them and go, is money a problem for you?
Oh, I like that. I might tuck that away.
Yeah, just tuck it away. You're not
Yeah.
giving away anything. Just go, are you short this
Yeah.
month?
Is that a concern for you at the moment?
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
so where do you see your business being in the next 5 years?
We're kind of in, we will grow a bit, but we're going to be very specific about that growth now. I would say that my lows will drop off almost entirely in the next couple of years. We're kind of still working through those numbers because we've kind of just got to the bottom of them. But I would say that I would move just into the mid high end of the rentals.
Mm,
And that would give us some capacity to grow a little bit more. I've still got school age kids, so the time thing will always be something that I kind of bump up against.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, so we'll grow a bit, but certainly not kind of past the point of a couple of staff and a couple of cars because you've really got to work out that ratio of, I need 50, 60 properties or 70 properties to go and hire a new person, new car, new person, new everything, and I'm not really that interested in it because at the end of the day, if I've got 300 properties, the buck stops with me for all of them. And at 100 or 120 or 130, I can still kind of reasonably be across them. I know them. I know the properties. I know the owners. I know everything kind of quite personally. And it's not super stressful. But at 300, there's an element of letting go. And maybe I'm just a control freak, but that doesn't appeal to me at all. I mean, what were you going to say there, Richard?
You are a control freak.
But it works. I mean, the other
Yeah.
thing for us is that we're taking a year off in 2030. So for me, that will change shape. That will change my business shape as well, because that means
Mm,
that before that, I need to, go and organize a new office space. So I'll need to move out of my, home office, hire someone to replace me while I'm gone, or, look at what the options are a bit closer to the time. So there's a bit of a time frame looming on that because it's only 3.5 years away.
mm. Well, changing direction a wee bit. Are you utilizing more and more technology to do the job?
Yes and no. I mean, I feel like it hasn't changed like heaps. Like we use Palace as our supplier, and we use TPS as kind of paperwork and all the other bits that TPS offer. I find that in property management, there's so many add-ons. Oh my gosh, like anyone who's out there who's a principal will know, like, oh, the subscriptions are out the gate for this, for that, for all the extra whiz bang things. But we're trying to use the systems we have to make them work. Like at a rent roll of this size, you don't need another thing to manage invoicing and things. You can do it all in Palace. But
Mm,
technology wise, we've tried a few, like we do 3D virtual walkthrough tours for our advertising, which are fantastic. But I found them for inspections to be, personally, I found them lacking, when I've had to go back and rely on them for, you know, checking things or searching, I need to search for an issue or a leak or a bit of damage or whatever. Haven't really been that impressed with them. And I got really excited with you take a 3D image and then AI will autofill all the opening inspection or whatever. I was
mm,
less than impressed with that as well. It just didn't have the level of description or detail that I wanted. None of it matched. And it was all kind of loosey-goosey, different words and different, like I'm like a standardized procedure person. I just want it to all be the same and mean the same thing so that further down the track, you've got those T's crossed and those I's dotted. And I can say, if it says this, this is what it means, not AI waffle. And I just felt that it was really waffly. So, always keen to give things a go. I'm kind of keen to be like the second or third, like I don't need to be the first person trying all the amazing new stuff. I kind of want to
yeah.
be the second or third person behind it's been tested and lots of people have been like, yeah, that's a great idea. We find it really easy. And then we can implement it. But yeah, it's just kind of spending money for money's sake. And it's got to save time. Whereas I just found that the things that we have tested so far, I've ended up kind of having to redo them or rejig
Yeah.
them, or I don't know. I haven't found it as impressive as what I had thought.
Oh, I mean, you could do a whole hour and a half of talking about AI and what it is and what people are, we're all being pressed into it. Um, I still think being able to pick up the phone and call a human being
100%. Yeah,
is
100%.
is the top of the list.
Yeah, like you
And
can
you,
write an email and make it sound swish and da da da, and then you just look at it and go, "What am I? Like, just pick up the phone. Like, why am I
yeah,
spending 10 minutes on this? It could have been done." Like, and I just do that so it's so much easier, and like obviously, make my staff do it too. I'm like, don't explain this really complicated thing. Pick up the phone and talk, and then they can ask questions and you can answer them, and it's not a 4-day thing. It's done in 10 minutes. So
yeah,
it's almost like anti-AI. It's like the back to that personalized service, which we can do at our numbers and our proportions and the size of our portfolio. And I don't want to ever lose that because, yeah, that just seems like a sensible way to be. And it also means that, yeah, we can charge a bit more, or we can, we're kind of more premium, or, because that's what
mm,
people expect and that's what they can get. They can call and ask a question and we know about it,
yeah, yeah. It's
which
I
is,
mean the AI thing. That let's not go past the fact that the first word in that label is artificial, which means fake or bogus or not
mm,
true, or so
yeah.
no, better to talk to a
Yeah.
human being.
I mean, there are definitely, places where it's going to be awesome and maybe the inspections and
Mm.
stuff will get better. But when we've tried it out, I found it to be lacking. So we haven't gone down that road. But, we'll recircle around when it gets better. And obviously everything's improving as time goes on. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, we're happy doing what we're doing. And yeah, those kind of things, I even think the personal touch, like you're looking at a wall and you can note down that there's whatever's on the wall. Like it's not, I don't know. I just think it's missing things, and the person who's gonna pay for it is me later. So I'd rather just not miss them at the first point.
Yeah, yeah. No, that is interesting. I
Mm,
have seen all sorts of different little bits of software that people are putting out, and you still end up with four or five different apps open on your phone
mm,
or on your PC screen.
yeah.
And you're quite right. You just pick up the phone and talk to somebody, or go and meet with
Mm.
them, which is even more
That's a bit
has even
outrageous,
more
but
impact. Just
okay.
say, let's have a coffee and have a yap about it.
Mm. Yeah, I mean less so that because we're all pretty flat stick to be honest, but should be more. Yeah, definitely should be more.
Yeah, the technology is supposed to. They claim that it makes you more productive and you get things done quicker. And
So
I'm
you
kind of
should have
thinking,
time.
I'm kind of thinking, why would you want to do more if you're
True.
busy enough in your job? Why would you want extra responsibility because you've compressed things? But that's a whole different discussion.
A whole nother topic on AI.
Yes, no, that would be a long and boring diatribe to listen to. Um, Is there anything you wished you knew before you started all this?
I don't even think you'd know you I don't even think that you could answer that because you wouldn't know what you needed to know before you started property management because it's such a huge plethora of things and skills and um no, not necessarily. Honestly, I think that that's part of the beauty of it is that you are literally learning all the time. Like with my newish staff lady, sometimes like I just have to say, well, you can't I can't necessarily teach you everything. Like you just have to do it and you will figure it out and
Mm.
I'll help you along the way and we'll learn as we go. And sometimes we're both learning something new at the same time.
Every day.
Yeah, every week I would say there's something that I'm like,
Okay.
wow, there you go. I mean, so I mean, before I got into it, I thought it would be, I think I had that image in my head of it being really rough and really crap and really like, oh God, that's going to be a hard job. But I owned my own rental at 2021 in the crappiest street, in the crappiest suburb, in the crappiest area. And so I feel like I already, because I was so young and like, whatever, nothing's going to bother me. I'll be fine. Like I feel like I'd already started there, so it couldn't possibly be any worse. And that was pretty
Yeah.
much right. Like, once you've cut your teeth in Nine you're only
I
upwards from
wasn't going to
there.
name it.
Oh well, I'm a Nine girl. I grew up there, so it's probably a very changed suburb now, but I feel like, yeah, what you think when you first start, and hopefully how you feel 17 years later are, different things. But it's certainly something that yeah, I still really enjoy. Like I think about taking that year off in 2030, and I think, oh, what am I going to do? Am I going to come back, or am I going to, sell, or, but I don't know. But then I'm like, what? Can't think of anything else I would enjoy. As much and has that variety of the people and the properties. Like I just love seeing people's houses, how they do them, how they set them up,
Mm,
how they, renovate them, how they think about them, how they, and then we own our own rentals, so there's always kind of learning alongside it as well,
yeah.
how people are out there earning a buck, how people are getting ahead, how people are thinking about their wealth creation strategies, and oh, we're doing this, and we've bought a few small workshop commercial spaces. It's like it's always changing. There's always new things. So I just think it's such a diverse and interesting industry that just gets a real stigma of like, oh God, that'd be really hard. It's like, well, a little part of it is, but it's so worth it
Mm,
in every other part. So yeah, that's
no,
probably a
that's
ramble. But anyway, that's how I feel.
yeah, nothing better than a good old ramble. A general question heading towards the finish line here, or we'll be here all day. Who inspires you, in terms of your business and your and property management generally? Who inspires you?
Probably my kids, to be honest. Like everything that I do is, yeah, we make sure that all the decisions we make are kind of aligning with our family and how we want our life to be. So again, when I think about growing the business or I think about size or numbers or hours or whatever, it's aligned with kind of, what's going to be best for our family. So that kind of inspires me to, yeah, to kind of be a good business owner, to kind of have a plan, to be working on my business, not just in my business, because I think, well, if I don't lead it in the direction I want it, it will just go or it will decrease or it will take me where it wants to go. Whereas I have to lead it and make decisions and turn down the client with 9 properties because it doesn't align with what I'm doing. So I reckon, yeah, kids are a pretty good inspiration because we're very much making decisions that are going to work for them and us as a family over and above everything else.
Mm,
Um, yeah, and my mum, I know that's super cheesy, but she was a business owner my whole life. I grew up, my dad was a business owner, commercial cleaning. My mum owned a plant hire company. And yeah, the way she ran her business was very similar. It was like aligned with, yeah, our family and our values and how our life was the
mm,
number one, I'm going to pick up my kids from school. That's important. So I'm not going to grow the business past that point where that's not a possibility because that's not an option. So I think that that's also been quite inspiring. And having her in the background cheer me on and, help bounce ideas around. I also have a business coach as well because I can't always ask me mum um, to have that professional input and a really good accountant. But yeah, you got to have a good team around you. But inspiration certainly definitely comes from the family, that's for sure. That's probably super
mm,
cheesy,
okay.
but it's true.
Well, there's a little bit of cheese in there, but that's
Yeah,
okay. We're all
that's all
entitled
right.
to a bit of cheese.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm hoping that everybody that's joined us today has got something out of our conversation. Uh, a lot of people seem to think that property management is easy and very simple. You know, you just gather the rent and take your cut. You know, that's all you do.
Mm.
And I have done an earlier webinar where I covered the number of jobs that are included in being a
Oh,
property.
41. I thought we were at like 60 by now.
Yeah, there was a
We're
time
going to
element
combine
involved in
some.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I think we got what was it, 71, 72?
It's a lot. It is a lot. I've heard that talk before, Richard Horn, and it is a good laugh and very true. So much of it is very true. Yeah, it's
It
it's
is a good laugh, you're right. And it is very true. In fact, it's surprising you sometimes go, geez, how did I get here? Which is good.
yeah.
So
Yeah. What have I done to
um,
deserve this?
yeah, I know, I
In the best
know.
way
So
possible.
any words of timeless wisdom you'd like to impart before I unplug you and send you back to work?
Uh,
Not for
no,
me.
not at all. Something that we do that's also that I find quite good is touch base with your local your other local property management companies and like the other staff that work doing your job because
Mm.
lots of people have work colleagues, but in property management it can be a little bit lonely, especially if you're in a small kind of one, two, three person kind of office, which a lot of us are. Like we catch up, every kind of 6 months or so with the other local kind of boutique property management
Mm.
guys. And I just call it a shoot the shit. I'm not allowed to swear, but we call it a shoot the shit catch up. And we just catch up and have a yarn. And then when you call for a reference or you call to have a chat about the market or, hey, we're finding it really rough at the moment, us too. And then it's just, there's something about that camaraderie. So I would encourage everyone to, I don't know, just find a property manager at a different, like, you're not really in competition with everyone. There's plenty to go around. It's that kind of mindset of abundance rather than like, oh God, they're going to steal my clients.
Yeah.
So just go and touch base with someone and go for a coffee because it's really good. No one else knows other than another property manager. So I find that quite a good thing to do. So maybe just leave that parting word of wisdom. Try and touch base with someone and go for a cuppa.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's good advice. Well, look, hey, thank you,
No,
Tam,
thank you, Richard.
for joining me this morning. And if you're wondering when the next RPMA webinar is, it's next month. Check it out on the website and have a look see. And if you've got any suggestions of people that we can interview, like we've grilled Tamara Pawson this morning, just let us know. So I will say farewell to you, good
Thank
people,
you.
and see you, Tam. I will speak
See you
soon.
later. Okay, bye.
Bye.